pagsubok na dapat nating tawirin para sa mga pangarap natin. Kaya ating respetuhin at mahalin upang sa gayon problema ay malinis.
Totok na yan na din ni makijabat. Totok na yan na din.
At sa kanila naman, kung i-share ko lang kung isa para sa kanila din. Galing siya sa tribo sa bandang Davao ay Northern Mindanao region. May plano din na pasukin ng isang pagmimina din ng kumpanya sa lugar nila. Kaya ang resulta is matindi yung militarisasyon. Kaya marami siyang mga kwento na talagang masaya yung kanilang komunidad, tapos biglaan na lang na pinapuputukan sila ng mga militar. Kaya ngayon, maraming kaso ng pagpapalis sa mga tribo dyan. Matindi yung militarisasyon sa buong Mindanao.
Sa mga tao, kumbaga yun daw yung sasabihin nila may rasyon na bigas, pirma kayo dito. Pero yun pala prior consent na yun. Hindi nila alam. Yung pirma na sila, naipasa na yun. So ngayon, yung ginagawa namin ng mga kabataan ngayon is kumbaga nag-aaral na lang, education, para muling harapin yung mga tao na nandyan ngayon. Isa pang issue doon sa amin is yung ancestral domain. Ancestral domain namin doon din dyan sa Mindanao. Alam naman natin yung Bangsamoro Basic Law. Diba? Grabe yung grabe yung advocacy nila ngayon. Eh kami naman ng mga mga IP. Wala lang kasi alam natin, ayaw natin ng gera, diba? Yung mga IP talaga, ayaw talaga yan ng madugong labanan. Gusto natin mapayapa. Sila, gusto nila, pag hindi natuloy yung BBL nila, papatay sila. Uubusin nila kami, gano'n. So doon po sa pinanggalingan ko sa Cotabato City, meron po kami yung APIYN o plant industry. Hindi po yung inaano namin ngayon, kiniklaim namin. So sa katunayan nga po, kami ng mga kabataan naging bahagi. Kami po dalawa ng kasama ko sa historical background para gagamitin proof dyan dito sa ating Pangulo para yung gagamitin proof na kami talaga yung nagmamayari. Ganun din po ang problema. Kulang din po sila sa edukasyon dati, naloko din sila, kulang din sila. Alam nyo ba, more than 485 hectares yung binigay lang po sa kanila yung pampatulis.
Pasaan.
Yun lang po. Yun lang pong binigay ng gobyerno. Tapos imagine, more than 400 hectares. Yun lang ang binigay nila. Ang sabi pa nila, hihiramin ng gobyerno. Yun naman mga ninuno namin, masyadong awain. Akala nila tao yung sa gobyerno. Hindi ko na maalala, basta 50 years na siya. So sumobra na. Kaya ngayon, kami na yung mga kabataan yung nakikilaban. Gumagawa kami ng mga advocacy din para mabawi yun. Eh ngayon naman, sinasabi nila, huwag mo nang bawin, papapasukin daw kami lahat ng mga kabataan, papasok ng trabaho. Eh paano hindi kami mga agriculture?
Tama, ang dumagat ay walang yaman at wala naman na opisina. Pero ang dumagat ay mayaman sa kalikasan, sa lupa, nung araw ay mayaman. Pero ngayon, unti-unting nakikita ko at natatanaw na unti-unting lumiliit yung kalupaan ng kadumagatan o ng katutubo. Sa anong dahilan? Pinatatamnan din ng DENR yung kalupaan namin dito. Na kung saan, ang tingin ko ay bagkus malawak yung lupa namin, ay gusto ng DNR ay lumiit. Dahil na kung may tanim siya, abay, iwasan mo. Maski alin sa atin, nag-aral at hindi, at may tanim ay may alalahanin. Di po ba? Kung makasira ka, magbabayad ka. Kaya yan ngayon yung pinangangambahan ng itong barangay.
Sa sitwasyon namin, oo, talagang malaking problema yung discrimination kasi bilang katutubo, kami yung laging dinidiscriminate. Tapos, yung iba, yung hindi katutubo, didiskrimina nila yung mga kapwa katutubo na kung saan ay hindi nila alam kung bakit at hindi nila alam kung ang kultura ng katutubo kaya dinidiskrimina nila.
Dahil sa pag-discriminate ng ibang mga kabataan sa katutubo ay nagkakaroon ng tao na kung saan takot na sila pumasok sa school kasi nga dahil sa binubuli sila, pinagtatawanan sila.
Example, in Sungai Tiong, there is a village called Sungai Tiong where they don't have primary school. So what they do is, for those who are for those children who are 7 years old, they will send to a boarding school. It's quite far, just like 6 hours from their village. So they will spend in the boarding school from age 7 until 17. Okay, so this create concerns to them because sometimes they miss their parents, also they miss their life in the village. They tend to drop out.
And when the modernism come and seems to be the alcoholic, also pornographic films is coming out. Yeah. Yes. Make a public.
So it changes the culture of
Yeah. So the culture is going broken, and some of their child, the youth is coming becoming aggressive.
In my country, I think yes, it's like uneven development. It's not like the government really neglect us, but it's, it's uneven. So the indigenous people always get the last development.
Like my grandmother's village, which is Barchi, is deeper in the jungle, so they tends to have like very cool climate because they have a lot of trees. So when we compare to my sister-in-law village, it's quite near to the city. They don't have so many trees, which we have cut down for what you call oil palm plantations. So it tends to get hotter.
In Malaysia, when they don't collect the data from the community, and suddenly the state put the lands, the community lands, under the other state's name. Actually the lands belong to the community, but the state give it to the other state because they don't collect data from the community regarding the land application. So they didn't know that the land is actually belong to the community, and they just put it under the other state. Yeah. So it's like they are grabbing the community's land.
And for development, of course, we need to carry our tradition, because this is all about our identification. Because we indigenous youth, we are not recognized in all over the world. Always we are ignored. Okay. So we youth should be heard in global platform. So this is the global platform where we all youth came together and we discuss all our issue, what problem we are facing in current situation. So we need to develop our in education. You have to definitely have to improve, and we have to save our culture tradition, because this is all about identification. And other people, they are just trying to kill our identification because we are not given space in our global platform. We are not recognized. We always treating like no, you are indigenous people. So always government always they were we are not in that mainstream of the development.
Different countries which were involved while we were discussing. So the awareness level of ideas of UN trip and self-determination is low when we had a discussion in terms of the Central India. Central India people or the IPs are like less aware, especially the youth. I'm talking about, it's not a general perception, especially about the youth. When we see, we observe that in Central India, they have low level of awareness. It's very, very much high in northeastern part of India, because they have been, for decades, they have been struggling for like their separate identity, and we also support it.
Example from Burma. In Burma, UNFPA is conducting a national youth policy in cooperation with the government. And the government is also inviting the youth, which we call Myanmar Youth Forum, in which IP youth representatives are not included. And the majority youth groups are kind of practicing dividing indigenous people's youths. So for example, they would work with one group from your IP community, and then if there is some kind of issue in decision making, then they just leave that and they just would kind of co-opt other indigenous people's youth. So there are a lot of youth issues in our in national level youth policy, and the government want to go only as a uniform, but indigenous people's youth want to have a special or a more inclusive youth policy, which also can be applicable to different indigenous youth communities. So there is a really big.
As we have seen lots of conflict going on in our areas, because in the name of development, governments, business organizations, enterprises, and corporate companies are coming to our land to take up our land, displacing us, and they are really making trouble to make our work, our heritage, our culture, and our knowledge. They are pushing it backwards, actually.
Jabat on potok na yan na din ni makijabat on potok na yan na din ni makijabat on potok ng lupang nilikha ni makijabat kakmukati agta para sa mga dumagat sa pusod ng Sierra Madre, tahimik ang aming daigdig.
Another thing is transparency. So we discussed and came up with this particular issue, meaning we would like to see the UN activities probably in our local countries and within the indigenous people, so that maybe the indigenous people can be able to know what they are doing. And then so from there they can be able to either criticize and find ways of expressing their ideas.
We have to know UN mechanism properly, and we should get orientation on and through its processes.
Myanmar, I'm not very sure, we are not very sure which agencies are and which national level government agencies are responsible for the sustainable development goals, but we'll have to explore that and then actively engage at the national level.
Development is something where, some big organizations or like governmental parties, they wanted to make the betterment or like the upliftment of some peoples or their, locality or community.
Development is good and important, but it must be balance between traditional and also modern.
The government, they should taking care of the community welfare first before they doing the building kinds of things, because some people, they don't really know how to work with the they don't really want to live at the town, and they have been used to live in the jungle where they can find peace in their own community.
We are not against the development, and we are not anti-development, but the development should not be at the cost of our own resources and life.
Having a clear way of expressing the problems that we are facing, that's a first step. That's like it's a first way of development.
I think the development actually would be exactly the opposite, be more dependent of non-indigenous system, because we can see that the system of non-indigenous, the capitalism, the big cities, they are like non-function structure.
For us, we see that traditional knowledge is very important. So also part of the economic development doesn't mean that traditional customs are not important. So we can be able to develop at the same time having our traditional identity.
Contents of our education system are directly relevant to our livelihoods and our community situation. And we also have health services. And first of all, what we have is peace. So no armed conflict in our area. Then only after peace that we can go to development.
Development is one of them is making the youth and the indigenous people their rights, human rights, and strengthening their livelihood in terms of economy, in terms of quality of living, education, and health.
I think Indigenous peoples and Indigenous youth should be capacity built to take care of themselves. I feel like they already have the answers to take care of the land and their communities. They've been doing it since time, and I think we need to do everything that we can to protect culture, land and way of life. I think development should be capacity building pre-existing working systems for Indigenous peoples to protect themselves from the violence of colonisation.
This development it needs to be something that comes from our own determination and what kind of facilities it has. For example, using the resources that we have in our own communities and having a good and decent livelihood and also in a peaceful environment.
My personal point of view is that basic needs human being is education, health, and food.
So I think it's how to maintain, like, have a balance between our traditional knowledge and our modern knowledge and especially for the youth, they're like going to universities, have contact with technologies, but also remember of ancestors of our own knowledge.
Development in the past, I think we have a great city and we have a tall building and we have a car. But after that, I know that development is not in a physical type, also in our mind. We need a development from our mind because if we need a development like that, we need to move to. We IPU need to move to the city side, and we can forget our past and our culture and our traditional knowledge. That's why we need the development means us we stay in our IP area and we can make whatever we want and we have a self-determination for our IP lives.
Development should not be at our cost, at the cost of our resources and our rights. So I think development is for all, so it should be for all and no one should be left behind and everyone should be consulted and given a right chance, and their rights should not be have been or to be taken just for the development. Thank you.
You know, if modernization always come every time, so we always keep our culture and then our traditional knowledge, and also we can share with the generation and our friends.
Element of Indigenous peoples and Indigenous youth is comes down to self-determination and giving people back their sense of dignity and self-respect and ability to self-govern.
MDG जो 2015 में ख़त्म हुआ वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा सफल नहीं रहा। उसमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा उद्देश्य था उनका कि बहुत सा टारगेट करे विकास को लेकर, पर वो सफल नहीं हुआ। उसके बाद अभी सतत विकास प्रक्रिया शुरू हुई है जिसकी जो 2030 तक चलेगी। ये सतत विकास प्रक्रिया में आदिवासी का ही मेन मुद्दा रखा है कि आदिवासी समाज हमेशा से ही उतना ही संसाधन लेते हैं प्रकृति से, जितनी उसकी आवश्यकता होती है वे बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल नहीं करते। वे चाहते हैं कि अपनी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए वो बचा के रखें ताकि वो भी उनका लाभ उठा सके। और ये सिर्फ आदिवासियों में नहीं पूरे विश्व में होना चाहिए कि इस प्रक्रिया को अपनाएं ताकि अपनी आने वाली पीढ़ी को बहुत ही ज़्यादा से संभाल पाए, इसका विकास हो पाए। और इसके लिए ज़रूरी है कि इसका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा
Development for IPs is when we practice their self-determination and have respect and recognition of IP rights. Yeah, and not to forget that the participation in UN process and decision making, the women should be included.
I'd like to tell the leaders of your state.
We want they recognize our land. That's all. When they recognize our land, the problem in our culture, our identity will be solved. Because we can, the indigenous people also can use the land as what they want, not what the government wants. Yeah. So we know what we want to do with our land to make our future a good future and become a good person as the other people.
The community to participate in decision making and also involved in in sustainable development, and also if they want to develop the area, they must be compliant and concerned for the community. They have to ask anything first, and also the co-care must be involve everyone.
I think the government they should discuss it with the community first. And but what I know now is there is no there is discussion between them, but the government and the company they didn't macam tak peduli, they didn't care about the community the community idea like that.
My recommendation for the sustainable development goal is for effective participation of the youth in the decision process and also the IP.
मेरे लिए विकास का मतलब बहुत ही अच्छा है, क्योंकि ये आदिवासियों समाज के लिए बहुत ही मायने रखता है, क्योंकि वे चाहते हैं कि विकास हो, लेकिन उनको उजाड़ के नहीं हो। वे विकास के विरोधी नहीं हैं, वे चाहते हैं कि विकास हो ताकि आदिवासियों को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अच्छी सुविधा मिल सके और विकास का लाभ उन्हें भी मिल सके। ऐसा नहीं कि विकास के नाम पे सिर्फ हमारी ज़मीनें, हमारी संस्कृति वे लूट ही ले। तो ये ज़रूरी है कि हम प्रयास करें कि विकास जब भी हो या विकास की नीति जब भी बने तो उसमें आदिवासियों को शामिल किया जाए, ताकि वो भी समझ पाए कि क्या क्या विकास होना चाहिए उनके हित में। ऐसा नहीं कि विकास के नाम पे सिर्फ वे ऐसी कोई भी नीति बना दे जिसका लाभ आदिवासियों को बिल्कुल ही ना हो।
We should be involved in all the progress related to process. Budget should be allocated by the donor and state to implement SDGs.
My personal point of view is that our natural resources is limited, right?
Yeah.
So we have to use our natural resource in the limit. We have to take care about our future generation, and if we use limited resource, then our future generation will be survive.
The tracking of the progress to the sustainable development should ensure equal and accessible participation of indigenous youth and indigenous people's community as well to the consultation and to the process of getting the sustainable development. They should respect our rights, they should respect our resources, what the indigenous people really want, and their connection with the nature. They need to understand it, and they need to respect and promote it.
So we need to improve our skills, we need to training, okay? We need to be very much advanced, then we also be the part of the development in the world.
Okay, I recommend an effective participation of indigenous peoples, including the youth, in the decision-making processes. And we should be consulted, including the implementation of the SDGs, even at the country level.
Again, I think we need to talk to community on the ground, the people living in the areas that will be affected, localised solutions, so capacity building for local solutions and I think Indigenous peoples already have the solutions. They need to be capacity built to speak to them, and we need to help them protect their lands and way of life and their peoples.
The last one is to mainstream UN mechanisms, including sustainable development goals to indigenous peoples' use. These programs, now that many of us who joined this program, we learn a lot about the SDGs, but many youth communities back at home in rural areas, they have never even heard of, they have never even heard of sustainable development goals or where they can engage. So kind of to mainstream these to the youth, to the whole society.
And regarding the Sustainable Development Goal, I would like to recommend that the participation of indigenous peoples should be the main first agenda. If it is done without the participation and the plebiscite of this VIP youth and indigenous people, it will not be a meaningful word. So please implement it after the participation of the people. Thank you.
So especially for us indigenous, I think that these goals have to be really thinking about our reality and how to apply these goals in our realities, because each traditional people have a traditional way to live. So we have to adopt these goals in our traditionals. Yes.
We have to share our problems with other country, especially for the government, so they can take it and always continues that to the level international conference.
For sustainable development goals, for the goals that to be really sustainable, it needs effective participation of the youth, and youth need to be consulted and need to participate actively at different levels, from community level to that policy drafting and implementation at the national level. Only then it would really be sustainable, as the term refers to.
My recommendations is, I think, just keeping the pressure up on governments to act and really evaluate it effectively and make sure that the data that is being collected, to see if we're achieving those goals is accurate, and an actual representation of the issues and the problems that Indigenous people face.
First, recognition and respect of IP right to self-determination. Second, involve the IP youth in the process.
Do remember, we are the owner of our land. When we develop SDG, we should not be excluded outside. We should be involved, and our voice should be very strong, directly let everyone know.
Please respect us, the orang asli. Please, because we want development, we want modernization, but in our terms, in our way, so that we can live happily and we also can contribute something to the nation.
They should come forward and they should know about their rights, strong, and we have to be strong, unity, we have to aware about our rights, and we have to fight for our rights.
And we demand protection for our lands and resources.
Stop destroy the forest, stop destroy our forest and our home, stop the discrimination against indigenous people, and also stop uneven development between the majority and the minority.
We Indigenous youth from Turtle Island demand self-governance.
We all face common challenges, and we have to come together to fight as one. And we also hope from the side of APIYN that this work on the youth will further build on our initiative of building second liners within Indigenous people's movements. Because right now, we're faced with the dilemma of the youth having different priorities from what we are doing now. And there's this challenge of how do we sustain our movements, how do we sustain the work that we are doing now if we don't also bring in our youth who would be the one continuing the work in the future. So we hope that through this, activities that we are conducting, it will be a continuing process of strengthening and building our movements on the ground at the regional and at the global level.
Long